On the news at 3, Governor Fubara assures of continued government support for Port Harcourt Polo Club, urges guests to take home positive impressions of River State, and workers of Federal Capital Territory Administration, Federal Capital Development Authority shut down operations over unmet demands. This is the news at 3. Thank you for joining us. My name is Ibiguni Kalio. River State, treasure base of the nation. Let's build and take her to greater heights. It's a task we must accomplish. You can watch our news live on YouTube and Facebook at Rstv Online. You can as well subscribe and click the notification bell for updates on our live feeds. Now, River State Governor says Siminalayi Fubara says his administration remains fully functional and will only support initiatives that contribute to promoting peace across the state. Governor Fubara made these remarks at the grand finale of the week-long 2026 NPA Port Harcourt International Polio Tournament. Correspondent Tamnobaribi Ibulubo reports.
It was a competition that attracted elite participants from across Nigeria and the African continent, creating an atmosphere of prestige and high-level sport. Governor Fubara spoke and dispelled rumors of a government in piracy. He addressed the current impeachment move by the House of Assembly with a touch of irony, describing the friction as merely a love letter designed to distract his administration. He insisted that his mandate remains intact and his focus remains on the people.
Whatever I say these days is always taken out of context. But what is important is I'm here, I'm still the governor of River State, and we will continue to do what we have promised the Rivers people that we will do. And I'm really happy that you had your tournament for 1 week and the president boldly telling the world that there was no incident. It shows that we are working and River State is safe. And that is the basic responsibility of government. I'm here for 2 reasons. I want the president to understand that he's not the one that made me to attend this event. I'm here because of my late brother, Engineer Roland Kukikan. Fortunately, the wife is here and the son. I did promise I will come here to honor the memory of my late brother. The president and maybe very few people that are very close to me ambushed me some days ago. And he said if I don't attend this event, that he was going to stop some things he promised he was going to do for us in River State. And I was in between the devil and the deep blue sea. While I originally had a mind to come here for my brother, I said, okay, let me use 1 stone and kill 2 birds.
Governor Fubara pointed to the incident-free week-long tournament as proof that the state is stable. He urged prospective investors to ignore what he termed social media noise and become ambassadors of the state by confidently sharing their experiences of the reality of a secured River State they encountered.
We must carry out our responsibility as government, and we must continue to support everyone who means well for River State. So I'm here on behalf of the government and the very, very wonderful people of River State to say, he has mentioned a few things, some of your problems. I'm not going to support you to buy a trailer, but I will help in improving the status and place of this club.
The tournament has ended, but Governor Fubara's message remains clear, and it is that despite the political hurdles, the business of governance continues. Tamnobarabi Ibulubo, Rstv News.
Children in Oibolo community are beaming with joy after Udumozo Foundation for Human Development handed out educational materials to support the academic pursuits. The event held at Community Secondary School saw stakeholders calling for government, private involvement in the education sector. Ukbuka Umeda tells us more.
Leaders including Nyudu Opata III, His Majesty Nyudu Felix Enene Utuarikpo, and the King of Ubie Kingdom, His Majesty Eze Augustine Maxwell Okpokiri, praised the Foundation's efforts and advocated for sustainable development of government projects. The Monarchs also lauded Igboyiba FC for winning the football tournament and thanked Billy Odumuzo for organizing the event.
It's a program to unite the people in the midst of intra-communal disagreements, disputes, and everything. Tournaments and programs such as this bring communities together and unite them.
Ubie youths, those who want to toe the line of carrying gun, those who have chosen to go and live inside the bush, let them have second thinking so that they can come back home and contribute to the growth of the area.
The chairman of Ahoda West local government area, Honorable Eugene Chita Epele, represented by the council secretary, Macmillan Obona, appreciated the foundation and announced plans to renovate Oyiba Community Secondary School as part of efforts to support education in the area.
Education is one of his priorities. Because of that, he has demonstrated in renovation of schools, corpus lodges in the LGA. Construction of a school desk are ongoing. Not less than 2,000 pieces that was given to various primary and secondary schools in Ahoda West.
The foundation CEO, Elder Billy Odumuzo, explained that their focus on education and sports aims to nurture talent and engage youths.
My motivation to embark on this event is to promote unity, love, and development in our community, to bring my community up to a basic level where they can understand that education is key to every social endeavor in life.
Elder Odumuzo announced plans to sponsor a football tournament in Ubie Kingdom to boost sports development, nurture raw talent to stardom, and engage the youths meaningfully. He also advised the youths to shun acts capable of truncating their future. The event featured cultural displays, trophy presentation, and gift giving. Ugboka Umeda, Rstv News.
Time to apply the bricks, but just before we do that, River State, treasure base of the nation, let's build and take her to greater heights. It's a task we must accomplish. You can watch our news live on Facebook and YouTube at Rstv Online. You can as well subscribe and click the notification bell for updates on our live feeds. Coming up on the second segment of the bulletin, Chile declares a state of catastrophe as wildfires kill at least 18, and FIFA, CAF condemn unacceptable scenes in AFCON final to take appropriate action. Details of this and more in just a moment.
This is Rstv World News. We bring you world-class news, accurate, first-hand, entertaining, balanced analysis. Rstv, Channel 22 Port Harcourt.
Good to have you join us again on a somber note. River State Police Command is saddened to report a tragic and distressing incident that occurred on Sunday, resulting in the loss of a dedicated police officer, Inspector Ibrahim Sani. A statement by the police public relations officer, Grace Iringa Koko, says the suspect, Inspector Victor Okus, attached to 17 police mobile force but on special duty at Intel's Onair, has been arrested and is currently in police custody. According to the unit commander, 14 PMF, DSP Turaki Hassan's accounts and the preliminary investigations, the tragic incident occurred at Next Cash and Kari Supermart, Transamadi Port Harcourt, where Inspector Ibrahim Sani and Inspector Daniel Dauda, all attached to 14 PMF Yola, were on joint guard duty with military personnel. CSP Ringekoko said Inspector Okus allegedly shot his colleagues on the head and neck regions, adding that the injured officers were promptly rushed to Nopsam Hospital for medical treatment, where Inspector Sani succumbed to his injuries, while Inspector Dauda is still receiving medical treatment. The corpse of Sani has been deposited at the military hospital morgue of Port Harcourt. The Commissioner of Police, River State Command, Ulubenga Adepoju, has directed a comprehensive and transparent investigation into the incident, adding that the suspect will face an orderly room trial and subsequently charged to court for prosecution, assuring that justice will be served. The Commissioner of Police further advised officers to be careful in handling of firearms so as to prevent potential tragedies. The command extends its heartfelt condolences to the bereaved family, colleagues, and friends of Inspector Sani, further reaffirming the command's commitment to upholding the highest standards of professionalism and accountability within the force. Now, major cities in Nigeria, including Port Harcourt and its adjoining towns, have in recent times witnessed astronomical increase in house rent. In this report, Justice Imo made an assessment of the situation in Port Harcourt, the economic implications of the situation, and its impact on people. His report.
Shelter is a basic need of human that requires a lot of effort to possess, coming with a myriad of challenges. Hence, many resort to renting. Statistics have it that there is a high deficit of housing in urban areas across the country, owing to poor housing policies by government within the states and even at the center. This development had in the last decade or so become a case of survival of the fittest. Finding a house to rent was until recently not a Herculean task, especially for the working class, but recent astronomical increase in house rental have posed great challenges to both the low and middle classes of the people. In Port Harcourt City, for instance, a two-bedroom flat that went for between 200 and 250,000 naira before the removal of subsidy by the current federal government has scaled up to between 700 and 1.5 million naira, depending on the location. The situation has forced several residents to relocate to hinterlands and move to their personal uncompleted buildings within the urban and rural areas. While some people attribute the increase to the current economic realities where the cost of building materials have skyrocketed, others attributed it to greed and loss of humanity.
Just a little to look at the religious aspect of it, because I will look at it that it is a lack of conscience on the part of the landlord. Then, moving from religion, I will look at it on another perspective, that it is the lack of policy by the government. Because and there's no price control. And in fact, I want to blame some of the government agencies for allowing these loopholes.
I would say both government, landlords, and agents, house agents, they are responsible for this problem. They don't care. The house agents, they don't care about what the landlords are taking. What they are interested is their own commission. Landlords themselves, they don't care how, whatever thing the agents are telling them. What they want, if you're not interested, you quit. Let another person enter.
The rent issue is, should I say, is a national phenomenon because of the economic realities of the day. So, in as much as things are going up, inflation, there is inflation. I think the landlords, they as well would want to increase the rent because that's the source of their income and everything. But it's adversely telling on residents and tenants.
Many believe that most of the houses were built several years ago, hence cannot be compared to the current cost of building materials. According to them, housing is a long-term investment that will be recovered over time. Hence, increasing it with reckless abandon makes no economic sense. They are of the view that government needs to intensify intervention in the housing sector, especially in providing low-cost housing for the low and middle class, and initiate a workable mortgage system that could address the housing needs of the people, especially for civil servants. Others say authorities should step up their regulatory systems to check the exploitative increases.
You just have to step in, make a policy whereby if you are building houses in a certain area, this is the highest you can collect. So the government has to look into that thing. That okay, as an area like this, you can't collect more than this. Although the landlord will still come and say that it's the government that build the house for them, but they can enforce it.
I think that government should really invest in housing and then target it to the needed people. You know, it's not just building low-cost houses and then give it back to those who will also have.
I doubt the possibility of government controlling it because landlords spend differently in building the houses. There's no way government can control the indiscriminate. The only thing that, except government will subsidize building materials.
Housing remains a major need of the people. Therefore, it is of great importance that government make it a major policy priority towards reducing the housing deficit that invariably trigger astronomical increase or subsidize the cost of building materials to enable people own personal houses. Justice Ihuo, Rstv News.
Now, workers of the Federal Capital Territory Administration and Federal Capital Development Authority commenced an industrial action shutting down activities across Abuja over what they described as unmet demands by the federal government. In a statement by the Joint Union Action Congress President Rifkatu Oitaya and the Secretary Abdullahi Saleh said an earlier ultimatum issued on January 7 had elapsed without meaningful engagement from management. According to the unions, the key grievances include the non-payment of outstanding promotion arrears, delays in the conduct and release of promotional exercises, and the continued extension of service for retired directors and permanent secretaries, a practice they said was blocking career progression for serving officers. The workers also accused the administration of failing to remit statutory deductions, including pension contributions and National Housing Fund payments, warning that the situation could jeopardize the future welfare of affected staff. The strike is expected to affect all FCTA secretariats, departments, agencies, area councils, and parastatals, effectively grounding official activities within the Federal Capital Territory. On the foreign scene, Chilean President Gabriel Boric has declared a state of catastrophe in two regions where deadly wildfires have left at least 18 people dead. More than 50,000 people have also been evacuated in the Noble and Biobío regions, about 300 miles south of the capital, Santiago. President Boric said the death toll was expected to rise. The fire has swept through dry forests bordering the coastal city of Concepcion. Disaster officials say about 250 homes have been destroyed. Chile's forestry agency, CONAF, said firefighters were battling 24 fires across the country, which have burned through 8,500 hectares in the two regions so far. And in sports, at the just concluded AFCON 2025, the Senegalese players stormed off the field in protest over a penalty awarded against them before returning to beat host Morocco 1-0 after extra time to win the Africa Cup of Nations AFCON amid physical scenes in the finals. Goodman Ajadi tells us more.
Midfielder Pape netted the 94th minute winner after Morocco star player Brahim Diaz squandered the chance to win it for the home side by fluffing the last gasp penalty in normal time following a 14th minute delay.
Brahim Diaz to give Morocco the lead, chips up Anenka down the middle and humiliatingly.
Senegal coach Pape Bonatia ordered his players off, and it was talisman Sadio Mane who persuaded them to return. The penalty was awarded following a VAR check by Congolese referee Jean-Jacques Sala after Diaz had been knocked to the ground by Senegal fullback El Hadji Malick Diouf while defending a corner kick 5 minutes into stoppage time. Officials and players adjusted with each other while the referee consulted the touchline screen, and then again Senegal walked off. It is Senegal's second AFCON title in the last 3 editions after they defeated Egypt on penalty in Yaoundé in 2022 to lift the trophy for the first time. Meanwhile, FIFA President Gianni Infantino condemned some Senegal players for the unacceptable sins which overshadowed their victory in Sunday's African Cup of National final when they walked off the pitch in a protest at a penalty awarded to Morocco. Goodman Ajadi, Rstv News.
River State, treasure base of the nation, let's build and take her to great